broke in through a rear door or a side window and stole church property. The dust storm that covered I-55 in central Illinois Monday is considered by some a freak accident. As you can see, dust from surrounding farm fields created zero visibility. 7 people died, 40 injured in the chain reaction crash. But some farmers point to the techniques used on those particular fields as a contributing factor. Ohio farmer Dave Brandt is an advocate for no-till farming. Tilling, which loosens the soil before planting, creates a layer of topsoil. Brandt believes the loose dirt was a contributing factor to that dust storm.
We have not got farmers educated enough to understand some of the things we can do to save the soil. I'm not poking blame, but somehow, some way, with some education, I think this could be improved immensely.
Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly says it will look into whether the dust came from, where it came from, and that will all be a part of the investigation. Authorities in Kane County are issuing a warning about a fake county treasurer website. You can see the real website here. The URL, kanecountytreasurer.org. You can see a picture of the Kane County Treasurer and a county seal. The fake website is kanecountytreasurer.org. It's missing the R from treasurer. But don't go to that one. No R, no go. It includes several links for online payments, legal records, court documents, vehicle registration. You should not make a payment to that one, again, without the R. It's new and news that will prompt many Americans to put off major purchases. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates again for the 10th time since last March. Here's John Lawrence with more.
The Federal Reserve's fight against inflation is not finished.
The strains that emerged in the banking sector in early March appear to be resulting in even tighter credit conditions for households and businesses.
The central bank voted unanimously to boost interest rates by 1/4 point on Wednesday. That brings the federal funds rate to 5.25%, a high not seen in over 15 years.
My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Another financial matter still hovering over Washington, D.C., the debt ceiling crisis. According to the White House Council of Economic Advisors, the U.S. could lose more than 8 million jobs and cut the stock market in half if the country breaks its spending limit. President Joe Biden and most Democratic lawmakers want it raised without any spending cuts.
Our view about the path forward remains the same. Can't choose the Default on America Act, must avoid the horrors of default, pass a clean bipartisan bill to avert default.
But some Republicans say Biden needs to hammer out a deal with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
The Speaker of the House has been sitting at the grown-ups table for months, waiting for President Biden to act like a leader.
John Lawrence, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, John. A debt ceiling meeting next week will include President Biden, Speaker McCarthy, and other top lawmakers. If the debt ceiling isn't raised, the Treasury Department says the U.S. could default by June 1st. And Google wants to make sure you don't need another password. The company is rolling out passkeys. You'd be able to access various accounts using fingerprint, face scan, or screen lock pin. Apple and Android devices have had passkeys for years. Google would still allow passwords and two-factor authentication. Breaking news now. The 13-year-old boy is in police custody, accused of a deadly school shooting in Serbia. Investigators now say he planned the attack, drew sketches of classrooms, and wrote a list of people he wanted to target. 8 students and a school guard died. Authorities say the 7th grader called police himself after the shooting, and police believe he used his father's gun. After an hours-long manhunt, police in Atlanta arrested the man suspected in a mass shooting there. 1 person died, 4 others hurt. The victims, all women. Police released a surveillance image showing the suspect, 24-year-old Dion Patterson, who was accused of opening fire inside a medical building. Sources tell CBS News Patterson became agitated while waiting for his appointment, and he took out a handgun and started shooting. Investigators are working to identify the body of a man found in the Fox River. CBS 2's Mugo Odigwe joins us from McHenry County with how this could be connected to a missing persons case. Mugo.
So we know police are still investigating a missing persons case from late April, but they haven't said if the discovery in the Fox River from just yesterday afternoon is connected to it. Now, back in April, we told you about 28-year-old Gustavo Guzman Perez. He was last seen around 2 in the morning on Saturday, April 22nd in the McHenry Country Club subdivision near West Virginia Avenue. McHenry County Police say they and the Sheriff's Office, along with volunteers, helped search more than 650 acres for him. And then just yesterday afternoon around 3:15, a boater noticed a man's body in the Fox River and called police. But again, authorities are still trying to identify that body, and they have not connected it to the missing persons case, but we'll update you as soon as we have new information on either of those cases. In McHenry County, Mugo Odigwe, CBS 2 News.
Mugo, thank you. On the Health Watch, turns out too much internet use may not be frying your brain. A new study found people who regularly use the internet are less likely to develop dementia. Researchers tracked 18,000 adults between 50 and 65 over an 8-year period. None of them had dementia when the study began, but by the end of it, those who regularly went online were half as likely to develop it. The sweet spot is about 2 hours or less. That's the key, 2 hours or less a day. And getting an extra hour of sleep is associated with more disruptions in your slumber. Researchers say this happens when we get an extra hour of sleep when we set the clocks back in the fall. But the disturbances only lasted about 2 weeks. The study didn't find sleep problems when clocks jump ahead in the spring. For the first time, a vaccine has been approved to prevent a dangerous respiratory disease known as RSV. It's a single-shot vaccine meant for people 60 years old and older. Although RSV is a disease that often is associated with babies and young kids, it can also be dangerous for seniors, killing more than 10,000 people in the country each year. The vaccine could be available for seniors as soon as this fall. Eli Lilly says it's going to try to get its new Alzheimer's drug approved next month. In a clinical trial, the drug slowed the progression of the disease by 35% over a year and a half. The drug is an antibody that is injected into the blood, then binds with the plaque in the brain that causes Alzheimer's. The body's immune system then eliminates the plaque. There were some side effects, and 3 out of 1,700 people died during that trial. And a beautiful pop of color up in Lake County. Tulip Fest is on. The tulips are nearing full bloom at Richardson's Farm in Spring Grove. Last year's bulbs have popped, and 300,000 bulbs have been planted for this year. That makes for more than 500,000 colorful bulbs that are truly picture perfect. And speaking of pops of color, these sneakers were made by, not that sneaker, that's a puppy. We got the sneakers. Oh, well, sneakers, just imagine the sneaker. And designs came straight from students right here in the Chicago area. The Stream's Charday Gray was in Hazel Crest for the big reveal.
3, 2, 1, open them up.
These students are getting a first look at shoes they designed, creations that came from their mind.
What do you think?
Well, they're at a loss for words.
I was shocked. I was happy. I never had my own shoe design before.
They look really nice, and it was better than I thought.
This is the 3rd year Jesse White Learning Academy teacher Ben Salas has done concept to kicks.
I wanted to show them if they had a really good idea
that they can have what they thought of in their hands.
This year, they had 8 grand prize winners from different schools, 4 students from Barack Obama Learning Academy and 4 from Jesse White Learning Academy. The theme this year is authentic culture experiences. Isabella Symington's shoes represent world peace.
The world is kind of split into two, and people are joining gangs and stuff, and they want to attack other people and make other people feel bad about themselves.
Anthony Amos, a sneaker artist, took these designs and brought them to life on these Jordans. He says it took 6 weeks to design 8 pairs of sneakers.
I have to find real-world reference to what these drawings are. It's not even about interpretation, it's about impact.
I want to say thank you to him because, like, I never had anybody do nothing like this for me.
Roman Lopez says these sneakers are meaningful to him and his family.
I like soccer, and my dad has been by my side ever since I joined soccer.
Students at Jesse White Learning Academy created this mural depicting students and what they have learned in class. This will be presented during their graduation ceremony. Mr. Salas says this will be expanded each year. Reporting in Hazel Crest, Sharday Gray, CBS 2 News.
When I think about growing up in Evanston, a lot of it is family. It's a real foundational feeling that's never left me. I love the commitment to surviving winter. I love the drive to always be better. I love the passion for our sports teams, taking advantage of those last warm days of summer. There's endless opportunity here to learn about each other. I feel that in this city. And I do still pinch myself when I'm driving in on Kennedy and see the skyline, unless there's terrible traffic.
The CBS 2 First Alert Weather Team keeps you prepared day and night. Start your day with meteorologist Laura Bannon.
Whether it's severe weather that can change your life or inconvenient weather that can change your day, you'll know before you head out the door.
And end your day with Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon.
We make sure you know what weather's headed your way tomorrow, so you'll be prepared before your head hits the pillow tonight.
Keeping you prepared around the clock. The First Alert Weather Team, only on CBS 2.
I want you to find. I believe in not just talking about change, but being part of the change. And how I think you do that is you impact our youth. You'll find me all the time out in the community. You'll find me mentoring. You'll find me there, hoping to inspire our youth in the city. We have a responsibility to go into our neighborhoods, to go into our community centers, to talk to our young boys and girls, and to be there for them. And that's so important to me.
I'm Matt Zahn. Positive vibes around the White Sox for a change. Liam Hendriks leading that charge. He's cancer-free, feeling great, and ready to start a rehab stint with Charlotte. And he says at no point since his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis in December did he ever feel sorry for himself.
It was never a thing to me where I ever worried, like, I never self-involved and looked into it as a why me thing. I looked at it as a why not me. I mean, as some of you may understand, I tend to have a little rosier perspective on life than Gen Pop. So that was my process behind it. I'm like, look, I've got this. This is my next challenge. That's been my mindset. There's no taking it easy. It's, as soon as I'm back, I'm meant to be in mid-season form, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
Looks like he's in midseason form already. Sun finally shining on the Sox. Luis Robert could use some of those good vibes. That's his first homer since April 11th, 3-run shot, and a 3-0 lead for Dylan Cease. But he wasn't super sharp again. Eric Gordon with his second home run of the season and of this series. Cease gave up 4 earned in 5 innings of work, but the Sox battled back. You know, fans love to see this again. Billy Hamilton doing Billy Hamilton things, just called up from AAA. The speedster scores from second on the ground out. Sox clinch their first series win of the year and have their first 3-game winning streak, 6-4 the final. Been a rough little road trip for David Ross and the Cubs, especially for the offense in the first inning. Seiya Suzuki trying to change that. RBI single gives the Cubs an early 1-0 lead in the ballgame. It was tied at 1 in the 7th. C.J. Abrams with his 4th hit in the last 2 games. That one put the Nationals in front 2-1. Same score in the 9th. Cubs get their first 2 runners on. Eric Hosmer with the sacrifice bunt. Doesn't go well. Nearly nearly a double play. Next batter, Patrick Wisdom. That is a game-ending DP. Cubs have lost 5 of 6 in Miami and Washington. 2-1 the final in that one. Red Stars taking on the Houston Dash as part of the Challenge Cup. Dash with a free kick in the 5th minute. Maria Sanchez's shot on net is tapped in by Barbara Olivieri. Dash would add another penalty kick goal late. Red Stars shutout in this one, 2-0. Recently crowned NBA MVP Joel Embiid back for the Sixers, who won Game 1 in Boston without him. Late first half, Embiid with the easy drive to the rim for the showdown, but he only had 15 points in 26 minutes. Sixers down 8 at the half, all Boston after the break. Malcolm Brogdon made 6 threes off the bench. This one put him up 32. They roll 121-87 to even that series at 1. Jason Tatum, their star, only had 7 points in 19 minutes, and they still won by 34.
Chicago's first local news stream is now CBS News Chicago. Stream your trusted CBS Chicago team for breaking news and weather live in real time on the CBS Chicago app and on Pluto TV.
When I think about growing up in Evanston, a lot of it is family. It's a real foundational feeling that's never left me. I love the commitment to surviving winter. I love the drive to always be better. I love the passion for our sports teams, taking advantage of those last warm days of summer. There's endless opportunity here to learn about each other. I feel that in this city. And I do still pinch myself when I'm driving in on Kennedy and see the skyline, unless there's terrible traffic.
On our places, bright, shiny faces.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team. Nate has one of the quickest minds I've ever seen.
Tony has a way of making people feel comfortable.
Gail has this unbelievable knack to ask the question that you're asking at home.
I've been told I could talk to a tree, and that's pretty much true.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with my 2 good friends, and we talk about the world.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7.
Every time the alarm goes off at 2 a.m., it hurts. But when I get here and I'm doing what I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl, that's what gets me going. People trust us. I always want people to know whether I'm telling a story on the anchor desk or whether I'm out in the community. I care that what you're saying matters to me, and I want to tell your story, the stories that make Chicago what we are. I truly believe it's a blessing to be here.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions. We look at a story and we say, how do we make it relevant to people's lives? So this is what we eat to live longer. Finding solutions, giving people context and depth, how much money we can spend on groceries, finding solutions to healthcare problems. Based on all the doctors that you've spoken with, what should parents know? Finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for your family.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell on CBS.
I love this city. It has a lot to do with the people.
Take a picture of this. Who got the camera?
The people here work hard, and people in Chicago also lead with their hearts.
I have Stacy.
And I have Will.
There's a humbleness, I think. When things aren't going well, I think they also reach out and they help their neighbors. Story after story, I've seen people come together to help the people.
This is CBS 2 News.
Again, good morning to you. I'm Adrena Begas.
And I'm Ryan Baker. Let's get right to meteorologist Laura Bannon for a check of our forecast. What a wonderful Friday Eve.
Full day, a lot of sunshine and cooler temperatures at this hour. We are now making way through the 40s and into the 50s. It is currently 55 degrees and a slight breeze right now from the southwest at 9 miles per hour. We're finding temperatures in the upper 40s and 50s now, mid 50s in the Loop and Lincoln Park. Highs today in the 70s with cooler conditions near the lake.
This morning, authorities in Kane County are issuing a warning about a fake county treasurer website. Heads up here. You can see the real website right here with a picture of the Kane County treasurer and a county seal. The URL is kanecountytreasurer.org. The fake website is kanecountytreasure.org. They just dropped the R. The fake includes several links for online payments, legal records, court documents, and vehicle registration. Of course, look out for this and do not make a payment on this website.
Happening today, rideshare drivers are protesting at the Uber hub over pay and safety concerns. The rally is set to start at 9:15. Drivers shut off their cars and took to the streets last year when gas prices first started climbing. Now they're pushing for safer working conditions and better wages.
And next on the news at 9, a body found in the Fox River. Now an investigation underway to determine if that person is a man who disappeared weeks ago.
And another community meeting is scheduled today as Chicago continues its search for the next police superintendent. How you can join the conversation.
Plus, today is International Firefighters Day. It's being celebrated around the world, and we are live at one celebration right here at home, and one of our own is part of that celebration. We'll tell you about that.
Those stories and more coming up on our 9 a.m. newscast. I'm Ryan Baker.
And I'm Laura Bannon, so we'll see you right back here in 3 minutes.
When I think about growing up in Evanston, a lot of it is family. It's a real foundational feeling that's never left me. I love the commitment to surviving winter. I love the drive to always be better. I love the passion for our sports teams, taking advantage of those last warm days of summer. There's endless opportunity here to learn about each other. I feel that in this city. And I do still pinch myself when I'm driving in on Kennedy and see the skyline, unless there's terrible traffic.
On our places, bright shiny faces.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team. Nate has one of the quickest minds I've ever seen.
Tony has a way of making people feel comfortable.
Gail has this unbelievable knack to ask the question that you're asking at home.
I've been told I could talk to a tree, and that's pretty much true.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with my two good friends, and we talk about the world.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7.
Every time the alarm goes off at 2 a.m., it hurts. But when I get here and I'm doing what I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl, that's what gets me going. People trust us. I always want people to know whether I'm telling a story on the anchor desk or whether I'm out in the community. I care that what you're saying matters to me, and I want to tell your story, the stories that make Chicago what we are. I truly believe it's a blessing to be here.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions. We look at a story and we say, how do we make it relevant to people's lives? So this is what we eat to live longer. Finding solutions, giving people context and depth, how much money we can spend on groceries, finding solutions to healthcare problems.
Based on all the doctors that you've spoken with, what should parents know?
Finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for your family.
The CBS Evening News with Laura O'Donnell on CBS.
I love this city. It has a lot to do with the people.
Take a picture of this. Who got the camera?
The people here work hard, and people in Chicago also lead with their hearts.
I have Stacy.
And I have Will.
There's a humbleness, I think. When things aren't going well, I think they also reach out and they help their neighbors. Story after story, I've seen people come together to help the people around them. And I think that's what makes a city this size still so special, because it is a community.
This is CBS 2 News at 9.
Good morning, I'm Laura Bannon.
And I'm Ryan Baker. Thanks so much for joining us on TV or streaming us on CBS News Chicago. Right now at 9, an investigation underway to identify a body found in the Fox River. Authorities think the discovery may be connected to a man who went missing 2 weeks ago.
And mixed reaction to plans to turn a neighborhood park into a location to temporarily house migrants, why some are blaming the city.
And a live look at the Chicago Firehouse restaurant, where International Firefighters Day is being celebrated. It's a global event, and we're looking at the festivities happening right here at home.
But first, in our nonstop news, investigators are working to identify the body of a man found in the Fox River.
CBS 2's Mugo Odigwe joins us live from McHenry County with how this may be connected to a missing persons case in recent weeks. Mugo.
Good
morning, guys. So that man's body was found yesterday afternoon, but right now authorities haven't said if it is connected to that missing person that they've been looking for almost 2 weeks now. Back in April, we told you about 28-year-old Gustavo Guzman Perez. He was last seen around 2 in the morning on Saturday, April 22nd in the McHenry Country Club subdivision near West Virginia Avenue. McHenry County Police say they and the sheriff's office, along with volunteers, helped search more than 650 acres for him. Then just yesterday afternoon around 3:15, a boater noticed a man's body in the Fox River and called police. But again, as of this morning, they are not connecting it just yet to that missing persons case. We went to the police department and they told us that they're still waiting for the coroner's office to do the autopsy on that body that was found. We'll update you once more information is made available. We're live in McHenry County. Lugo Digwe, CBS 2 News.
And right now, 4 people are recovering in the hospital after a mass shooting on Chicago's South Side. This happened at the Parkway Gardens complex. It's near 63rd and King Drive. It was yesterday evening. Here's Chopper 2 over that scene. EMTs were already on that scene for an unrelated call when the shooting started.
Are you saying there's a shooting outside of this location? Is that correct?
Multiple shots, yes, and we are in an ambulance.
So people inside the complex surrounded that ambulance. They were trying to get help for those gunshot victims, but the EMTs already had a patient who they could not leave. Now, once police got there, they put the complex on lockdown. More emergency crews were brought in. We've learned the victims range in age between 16 and 42. That teenager, the 16-year-old, listed in critical condition. The others are expected to be okay. And today is another public forum in the search for Chicago's next police superintendent.
The Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability is hosting that meeting on the north side at Roosevelt High School. The new board says it's committed to keeping the community at the forefront of the superintendent search. This Sunday, May 7th, is the last day to apply for that top cop job. Meanwhile, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson named 34-year CPD veteran Fred Waller as his latest interim police superintendent. Johnson expects Waller, who came out of retirement, to lead the department through the next few months until a permanent leader is hired. He'll be the first superintendent to start implementing Johnson's promises of reimagined public safety.
So right now, police are searching for 2 to 3 men linked to several robberies. What makes these interesting and scary, as investigators say, those men use dating apps and social media to find their victims. The crimes happened in North Lawndale in March and April. Police say in some instances the suspects were armed and they used duct tape to tie up those victims, then demanded their banking and credit card information and then went to the ATM to get cash. The victims all had minor injuries.
With more migrants expected to arrive here in Chicago soon, plans are underway for a temporary shelter in the South Shore neighborhood. There's a community meeting tonight at the South Shore International College Preparatory High School at 6 p.m. City officials will share plans to use that building as a temporary respite center for migrants. Now, in Avondale, families and businesses say they were just blindsided by the city's decision to close a neighborhood park to use it as a temporary respite site for migrants.
CBS 2's Jackie Kostek at Brands Park with more on those plans and the reaction from neighbors.
A lot of people in this neighborhood say they want to help with the migrant crisis in Chicago, but they're frustrated by what they say is a lack of communication from city leaders on exactly how this park facility is going to be used, when, and what that means for them. The news came as a shock to families who say on Tuesday they were abruptly told that the after-school programs that are normally held here in Brands Park were being moved to other parks, one more than a mile away. Then they learned that the summer program was being canceled. The reason? The city has designated the Brands Park facility as a temporary migrant respite site, a transitional location for incoming migrants until they can be placed into a temporary shelter.
You can't tell me the city didn't know that they were planning to shut down Brands, and so now all these parents that enrolled thinking their park was going to be open for the summer, you know, I mean, that was really unfair.
As for what Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson plans to do, well, he said he'll be ready on day one of his administration to coordinate a response on the local, state, and national level. Jackie Kostek, CBS 2 News.
The Chicago Bears have officially filed paperwork for demolition of the former Arlington International Racecourse. The move puts the team one step closer to saying goodbye to Soldier Field and moving to the suburbs. However, a statement from the Bears says this does not mean for sure that the team will be developing the site with a new stadium. Back in February, the Bears closed on the purchase of the 326-acre property.
9:06 right now, taking a live look from Daley Plaza, where, first of all, the sun is shining. That's good. But more than 1,000 people are expected right there to have spin class together. And it's all for an event called Cycle for Survival. It raises money for rare cancer research at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Spin instructors from Equinox are leading the different high-energy rides. Today's event is from 5 to 9 p.m. There's another round of rides on Saturday. I'm looking forward to taking part in that for another year. And, Ryan, it looks like it's going to be good weather.
Oh, it's a great day to go for a bike ride through the loop along the lakefront. Just anything outdoors, because finally, look at that, some sunshine splashing over the skyline. Let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Laura Bannon. Hey, Laura.
Hi there. So pretty. I love seeing the sunshine that we have, and also this forecast keeps getting better. It's been a little chilly this morning, but we are anticipated to make it into the 70s across the area with cooler conditions by the lake yet again. Temperatures in that direction running about 10 degrees cooler with a forecast high at Chicago O'Hare 72. You're going to find temperatures more like the upper 50s and low 60s due to the chilly waters that we have and those winds blowing over it. There she is in all her glory, looking beautiful, bright, blue sky on top of us. We're up now to 55 degrees with a wind from the southwest at 9 miles per hour. Really a pretty morning and a warmer morning already. Temperatures about 10 degrees warmer from where we were at this point yesterday. And yesterday's weather was really nice too. Temperatures now coming into the mid-50s. LaGrange a little cooler, upper 40s, 49, 55 in Lombard. We have 55 Skokie, Lincoln Park, and also in the Loop, pair of 5s. Highs today getting to the 60s and 70s by 4 o'clock. It's sunny, 70 degrees, a few clouds out there. Nice weather heading into this evening. I've got a low chance for rain here this weekend. A closer look at when and where coming up.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. We'll see you then. As we keep an eye on your world this morning, police have arrested the man accused of a deadly shooting that shut down Midtown Atlanta for hours yesterday, a busy area. Police are saying that suspect was in a waiting room at a hospital facility when he became agitated, took a gun out, and started shooting. A 39-year-old woman died and 4 others were hurt in this. The suspect's mother is telling authorities her son suffers from mental illness. And just days before the Kentucky Derby, an investigation underway at the racetrack that hosts the event after 4 horses died. The horses died in separate incidents within a 5-day stretch starting April 29th. One of those horses, who you see here, Wild on Ice, was set to race in that Derby, which is set for Saturday. And today is a second public hearing for former President Donald Trump's criminal case in Manhattan. A judge is hearing arguments about possibly limiting what Trump can say publicly about the evidence against him. Now, Trump himself not expected to be at the hearing. He is pleading not guilty to dozens of felony counts of falsifying business records. And the Biden administration has reached an agreement with Mexico to address an expected spike in people seeking asylum at the southern border.
The pandemic-era Title 42 policy restricting immigration is set to expire a week from today. As Jared Hill reports, one Texas mayor has already declared a state of emergency.
In the city of El Paso, Texas, migrants on the street go on for blocks and blocks.
We're focusing on women and children mainly. The need is overwhelming.
And that need could become even greater when Title 42, a pandemic-era policy that allows the U.S. government to expel migrants, expires on May 11th. El Paso's mayor has already declared a state of emergency as Customs and Border Patrol officials say as many as 10,000 migrants a day could cross the southern border, nearly doubling the daily average in March.
We are doing everything that we can to put programs, to put processes in place to deal with what will occur at the border.
Part of that, a new agreement where Mexico will accept non-Mexican migrants expelled from the U.S., while the U.S. takes in up to 100,000 individuals from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador who have family here in the States. As the crisis at the border balloons, Wednesday, buses carrying migrants from Texas arrived in New York City. part of a controversial initiative by Republican Governor Greg Abbott to send migrants to cities run by Democrats.
Our infrastructure is completely strained, and we cannot do this alone without the intervention from the federal and state governments.
New York City officials say they've converted more than 120 hotels into emergency shelters to accommodate, but the pace is unsustainable. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
About 1,500 U.S. troops will also be deployed to the southern border for 90 days, working in a logistics capacity.
Well, it's a day to recognize and honor firefighters who serve us in our communities.
Coming up, the celebration already underway at the Chicago Firehouse Restaurant. Our Chris Habermill joins us live with a look at the party going on for International Firefighters Day.
Welcome back. They are firefighters, they are lifesavers, and they really are heroes.
Absolutely. Today is International Firefighters Day, and the Chicago Firehouse Restaurant in the South Loop, which was once a working firehouse, is hosting a very special celebration to honor these brave men and women.
And we're excited because our own Chris Habermill is there live, talking to different groups coming together to create this special morning. Chris, we thank you for your service. Well, we thank all of them too.
Well, thank you very much, Audrina. Ryan, good morning, everybody. Yes, indeed, I'm here at the Firehouse Restaurant at 14th and Michigan. It has been here, a fixture in this community, since 1905, first as a firehouse and now as a source of entertainment and good food. We've been entertaining a lot of firefighters that have been cycling through off the street this morning. A lot of companies coming in to get some free food that's provided here by the Firehouse Restaurant. Had a little bit myself, and it is absolutely delicious. And one of the persons that we need to compliment on that is Shannon Tauschman, and she is the general manager here at the Firehouse Restaurant. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how did this all come about here at the Firehouse Restaurant?
Well, we started partnering up with Ignite the Spirit, which is a great organization that helps out families of firefighters who with assistance. And we thought, why not have a great brunch to celebrate these heroes by throwing them a great brunch? We're Engine 104, so why not invite 104 firefighters?
And they've basically been cycling through here all morning. So that being the case here, let's talk about Engine 104's quarters. This was Engine 104 and Truck 31, I believe, here back in starting in 1905?
1905 till 1987.
1987. And if you look in the back here, back behind both of us here, you see that baked, kind of glazed original surface there, those bricks that are there. On the back side, it's got a very special name on those bricks, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The word Tiffany is on the back side of those bricks. And we just think blue boxes and white ribbons, but no, they were making quality bricks.
And this house has been here since 1905 and an active company through about 1987, I believe?
That's correct.
And when did it become an actual restaurant?
In 2000.
And it battled back after a fire in 2014, and it's beautiful today.
It is beautiful. Sometimes great things come out of fires. The Chicago fire is a perfect example, and I think our restaurant is a perfect example.
Well, in the city born to fire, and with firefighters all over here who have been partaking in the festivities here this morning. We had a band. The band's taking a break now, but they were just playing their hearts out for a while. A lot of companies came in off the street there to enjoy the food, and the food was absolutely magnificent. So firefighters feeling appreciated this morning on this International Firefighters Day, not just the city of Chicago, but the world over. And it's also May 4th, so it's the Feast of St. Florian, the patron saint of firefighters there. So on the same exact day. So that's absolutely magnificent. So still activity going on down here. We still have firefighters that have been coming in off the street and enjoying a good meal this morning. If you see a firefighter, first responder, tell he or she thank you very much and happy International Firefighters Day. Reporting live, Chris Habermill from the Kirkland Fire Department at the Firehouse Restaurant at 14th and Michigan, CBS 2 News.
Chris, thank you. I feel like you could have a long ending to that. The Chopper 2, CBS, volunteer firefighter, lieutenant, thank you for your service. Mm-hmm. I appreciate you, Chris.
And we're going to call him Lieutenant Habermill.
That's almost Italian from Chopper 2.
Absolutely. Lou from here on out. We already got a Lou, though.
Yeah, we do.
He's Lieutenant. Well, thanks so much, Chris. What a wonderful event, and it's great to have Chris there to be honored as well as he's sharing that story with our viewers.
We're thankful for everything that Chris does for us here and also our community, too. I remember the first day that we met him, and it was an introduction. I mean, it was like a 4-minute introduction because it was like, I did this and this and this and this. And we're like, Chris, you are amazing. So special that they could all be together this morning on such a beautiful day. My goodness, it's been really cool this morning and also really sunny. I mean, not a single cloud in the sky right over Chicago. The next few days, we're still keeping with that theme with cooler conditions by the lake. If you're heading out there today, that chilly lake water is still going to be blowing with the wind, and that's going to keep things cooler, about 10-15 degrees cooler from what you see farther inland. Warm, sunny weekend ahead of us. Unsettled skies come back with us for early next week. So we've got a nice dry stretch until that chance for rain and thunderstorms, and not a drop of rain across Chicago. We have the sunshine out there. Live look over Rosemont, O'Hare. We have the traffic moving along and that blue sky. Make sure you have those sunglasses if you're going out for any of your appointments today, going out for lunch. Going to be nice to be outdoors as our temperature is now in the 50s. We were in the 40s or the 30s earlier now, so we've made some significant gains in our temperatures. 56 in the Loop, 56 McHenry, 54 Aurora, and also out toward LaPorte. Good morning. It is 52 degrees. In around Chicago, we'll find mid-50s from Lincoln Park, Skokie, 55 in West Chicago. 53 degrees. Clouds, we'll find that farther north and off toward the north and east. So we'll stay nice and sunny for today. Few clouds moving through later on this evening and going into your Friday. Tomorrow's weather is still going to be very nice. Possibly warmer in the middle upper 70s with cooler conditions lakeside and possibly a couple of sprinkles, especially farther off toward the west. It's a really limited low chance for rain, and those sprinkle chances go into at least early on Saturday. But we've got a dry setup for this weekend starting off on Saturday. A low chance for rain Saturday night into Sunday, but Sunday afternoon looks to clear out, giving way to nice weather once again. And then those thunderstorm chances start to go up again for early next week. Today's weather, sunny, beautiful, 72 degrees, cooler lakeside, southwest winds between 10 and 15. For tonight, cool weather, 53 degrees, but we'll find 40s inland. Still looking at jacket weather for the start of tomorrow. Afternoon weather, short sleeves. I bumped up that high to 77. Nice day for your Friday, Cinco de Mayo, nice weekend weather. Saturday and Sunday, mid-70s, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the morning, then possibly another round Sunday into Monday. Had that chance of rain and thunderstorms for Monday, but our temperatures stay fairly warm, more like spring and more like it. Mid-70s all the way through Tuesday. We're at 69 by Wednesday. Saw a lot of setup for rooftop season. It is in full swing here this weekend.
All right, Laura, like the look of that. Well, in a country of red and blue where Illinois is a big B blue, he was a political anomaly.
A Republican U.S. Senator from Illinois, and you haven't heard from him or seen him in a while, Mark Kirk. It's been a decade about that. But tonight at 10, he's speaking to our very own Brad Edwards. Brad joining us now. Brad, what do you have in store for us with this?
Yeah, good morning to you guys, Ryan and Audrina. Good morning to everybody. So we talked to Mark Kirk. He's really been out of sight for nearly a decade. Of course, it was about a decade ago. He had a major stroke. I mean, many thought initially it could be a fatal stroke. But prior to that, I mean, the fact that he became a Republican U.S. Senator from Illinois was a remarkable feat for a guy who was a naval intelligence officer, then a congressman. And then in that election that he won, he was so sure he was going to lose because at that point in time he was facing Obama-backed it-boy, if you will, Alexei Janulius, who was at that point in time state treasurer trying to get the Senate seat. Everyone thought it was going to be a shoo-in for Janulius. Kirk thought he had no chance. Then he won. We sit down with Mark Kirk. We sat down for a couple hours. It was a remarkable conversation to see where he is health-wise. No question was off limits. Here's a sampling.
Are you still a Republican?
Very much so, yeah. It's very much a fiscal conservative.
Mark Kirk performed a political miracle a decade plus ago, then disappeared. Now stepping out. You had a stroke 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah. 10 years ago, and it's still one step at a time. From the insurrection to political partisanship, no question is off limits. Join us at 10 o'clock for the full one-on-one interview with former U.S. Senator Mark Kirk. Audrina and Ryan, back to you.
Brad, thank you so much. Appreciate that preview. We'll see you at 10 for that story.
Okay.
Well, coming up, the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees are revealed, and guess what? 2 Chicagoans are on that list.
Well, hip hop and country are once again breaking through to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So the 2023 class, it spans genres with add-ons from experimental singers to pop royalty and beyond. All right, Missy Elliott, Willie Nelson joined Sheryl Crow, rap rock band Rage Against the Machine, experimental singer Kate Bush, and the late George Michaels as this year's honorees.
And we can't forget two of Chicago's own making the cut. Well, straight off the Soul Train, right here in Chicago, into the history books, Don Cornelius and the legendary Chaka Khan are also among this year's inductees. Cornelius started Soul Train right here in Chicago in the early 70s. The 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class will be honored with the show coming up in November.
Love to see the Chicago greats among the list.
Chaka Khan, Chaka
I know,
Khan.
right? Well, that's it for us at 9 on air, but we got much more coming up on our streaming network, CBS News Chicago, in just a few minutes, including a celebration honoring teachers. 25 are getting school supply kits for their students. We will see you on the stream in 3 minutes.
This is CBS 2 News.
And good morning to you. I'm Ryan Baker.
And I'm Andrea Vegas. It is 9:30, and we appreciate you streaming with us here on CBS News Chicago. So lots to come in this half hour, including we're going to talk to a local teacher, now the winner of a statewide contest celebrating our educators. She's been in the classroom for 45 years.
And a grant from the state is the gift that just keeps on giving for a group of underrepresented entrepreneurs. We're looking at how that money is helping black women bosses boss up even more. But speaking of boss, that's Laura Bannon today.
Yeah,
because our weather
that's
is
right.
like doing it today. Finally. I mean, we've been waiting on this.
I was going to say, you have never been called a boss yet this year. This is my time to shine. But no, it's really strange actually when I deliver my weather forecast to be saying, oh, it's nice out, it's great, it's sunny, it's beautiful, because it's
weird to hear it.
Anything to, I know.
Right.
It's so nice. The past 2 weekends have been horrible. This weekend's weather is going to be fantastic, and it all starts today. 72 degrees, cooler lakeside, and you're going to hear me say cooler lakeside a lot in this forecast. Temperatures are going to be about 10 degrees cooler in that direction, but elsewhere 70s expected to be widespread across the board. 55 O'Hare and Midway. We do have a southwest wind building in about 5-10 miles per hour, so not too terribly breezy out there. But we're also finding some warmer temperatures already out toward Ottawa, 60 degrees, Morris 56, 54 in Aurora and the Loop. We'll find 57, low 50s to northwest Indiana. High at Chicago O'Hare, 70 degrees this afternoon. Clouds, sunshine mixed, and we've got a nice evening ahead of us. We're falling back through the 60s, 9 o'clock, 65, 63 by 11 o'clock. It will be cool and comfortable tomorrow morning, and tomorrow bumped up that high to 77 degrees. So such a gorgeous start for the weekend. Saturday, warm weather, 74, and there is a slim shot for a little rain going from Saturday into Sunday. We'll take a closer look at that timeline and what it means for the rest of the weekend coming up.
And a live look right now from McHenry, where investigators are trying to identify the body of a man found in the Fox River. Authorities have not said if it's the missing person they've been searching for almost 2 weeks now. That is a question out there. The sheriff's office says a boater found the body in the water just after 3 yesterday afternoon. And this comes as the police department is investigating the disappearance of 28-year-old Gustavo Guzman Perez. He was last seen April 22nd in the McHenry Country Club subdivision. And family and friends of a man shot and killed by Chicago police are demanding justice.
Say his name. Say his name.
A protest outside CBD headquarters spilled out into the streets as they chanted the name of Reginald Clay Jr. It comes as COPA released the body cam footage of last month's shooting. And that video shows police getting out of their patrol car during what they call a de-escalation mission on April 15th. Now, as they approach a group, Clay took off running down a narrow gangway, then turned, reaching in his waistband, revealing a gun. We stopped the video before one officer fired a single fatal shot, hitting Clay in the chest.
And when the gun appears and the man is still advancing, that makes the shooting appear reasonable.
The family claims that Clay was trying to surrender. The officers involved are on paid leave, which is standard procedure during the investigation.
Right now, rideshare drivers are protesting at the Uber hub over pay and safety concerns. The rally got started about 9:15 this morning. The drivers shut off their cars and took to the streets last year when gas prices first started climbing. Now they're pushing for safer working conditions and better wages. They also want Chicago aldermen to support the rideshare living wage and safety ordinance. We'll find out today which historic places are most at risk of disappearing. Landmarks Illinois will announce its list today at noon. Previous lists included architecturally significant spaces like the shop building at Altgeld Gardens and the Class restaurant in Cicero. The buildings on the list are threatened by deterioration, lack of maintenance, development, and even demolition. It's meant to call attention to the issue and work on a plan to preserve our history.
It is 9:35 right now. You are taking a live look inside Marquette Elementary School in Chicago lawn. This beloved fourth grade teacher is holding her mouth like that and so shocked because she just got a very big surprise. Ann Quinice Brown was honored with the Golden Apple Excellence in Teaching Award. And Miss Brown will receive a $5,000 cash award and a spring sabbatical paid for by Northwestern University. Oh, I love seeing that joy on her face. She's put in so much hard work. She's one of 10 Illinois teachers receiving the Golden Apple distinction after a highly competitive process. They saw more than 570 nominations for 4th to 8th grade teachers. So a big deal. We're seeing her school community around her, maybe even family and friends joining in this very big surprise. Congratulations to Miss Brown, hugging her students. And I wonder if those are her kids there too with her. She doesn't know who's showing up. We don't know who they are, but we know it's really, really fun to see it happening there. Congratulations. And speaking of teachers, you may remember back in March, we told you about a statewide campaign. It's all about celebrating educators. Well, Back to School America, a Chicago nonprofit that provides free school supplies to underserved students in Illinois, launched the We Appreciate Teachers contest this year, encouraging people to nominate teachers that they thought really deserve recognition. Hundreds of teachers were nominated, only 25 selected. The winners get school supply kits for their entire classroom along with a gift basket of personal goodies. And one of those winners, we have a treat. Joining us live now via Zoom, Karen Blaze. Miss Blaze, an educator at Divine Providence School in Westchester. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, what a distinction. Out of hundreds of nominations, you were chosen as one of the winners. How do you feel getting this recognition?
Wow, it's phenomenal. I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm just thrilled.
Gosh, so the reward is a collection of school supply kits, and from my teacher friends, they tell me a lot of times they're funding their own school supplies in the classroom and things to make the classroom look good. How is this donation going to help you and the kids?
Oh, it's fantastic, and you're absolutely right. I spend hundreds of dollars every year, as I'm sure all teachers do, providing things for the classroom. And I told the kids that they were getting school supplies, and they were thrilled. You know, some of our parents have to work 2 jobs to send their students to this Catholic school to pay their tuition. And I know it will be very well appreciated.
Oh, I'm sure. That is so amazing. And you mentioned this, 45 years you've been teaching. I have to say, I can't imagine that. I have so much respect for teachers. I just can't imagine being in the classroom every day, being responsible for getting our kids ready for the world. What do you love about your job? Why do you do this for so long?
Oh gosh, I know, so long. It's hard for me to believe it's 45 years. I always wanted to be a teacher since I was in grade school. I love teaching kids, and I get a kick out of them. I started the preschool kindergarten program here at Divine Providence School in 1978, and wow. I was young, I had dark hair, and I was thin, and now not so much. But I love it because I like to see the kids get it. When I teach something and they say, oh, I get it now, it just makes my heart sing.
Oh, man, that's so amazing to hear. I can hear the joy in your voice. You're talking about you looking different. We were just saying how stylish and awesome your hair is. It looks great.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so I want to take a second. I know that some of your students might watch and the parents might watch. What do you want to say to them?
Oh, thank you, because we have so many wonderful students here and parents who are so supportive. And I don't think I could have lasted 45 years without the kids and the parents being so supportive.
Oh my goodness, I know. I'm sure it's a big team effort. You, the parents, the staff, principal, all of you guys working together. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Karen Blaze, an educator at Divine Providence School in Westchester. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Karen, along with the other winners, will be celebrated tonight with a dinner and reception. Again, congratulations to all the winners. Wow, our teachers. Especially in this day and age. I don't know, kids are so distracted by so many, there's so much more to be distracted by now. So to keep their attention, to educate them, to empower them, that's really powerful.
Especially changing with the times.
Yeah.
Well, entrepreneurs tend to do it all. They're the company planner, accountant, and even inventory specialist.
An Orland Park business owner is trying to keep her head above water while managing all of that. Morning Insider Lauren Victory shares what recently helped her and other black female bosses bloom.
See what I mean?
Shavari Levy is embarrassed of her mess, but it's all related to the beauty she creates from within.
I've always had this passion to make things really, really pretty.
A passion that, along with the pain of losing her son Courtney, inspired her to create her own silk flower rental company. She named it Courtney Blooms.
How could I not connect him to this place in my life that I've had to bloom from?
The Orland Park mom wants to bring some joy to other grieving families by hosting floral arrangement workshops and offering a service of rotating bouquets to decorate grave sites.
So with the subscription boxes, it makes sure that your family or loved one always has something out there.
But her business can't expand without better website functionality. Storage would help too.
I felt blessed.
We interviewed Levy after she learned she was one of 25 black female entrepreneurs picked for a $10,000 grant. It came from Bringing Out Successful Sisters, aka the Boss Network.
Congratulations.
That's founder Kamika Smith sharing the good news with other winners. 18,000 women applied.
Less than 1% of Black women get access to capital, and that's a very low number. So I knew that this was going to be really important to my community, and the numbers of applicants show that, you know, it definitely is.
All of these fabrics are going to have a home very soon.
2022 grant winner Janine Harrell told CBS 2 last year she planned to use the money to organize her Chicago office. Here's what it looks like now.
We've got our materials library fully up and running. We've bought more technology to help support the efforts that we're doing here in the office. And so absolutely, the grant is just the gift that keeps on giving.
The load isn't as heavy because I have people that I can talk to.
Mentorship is another perk of being a Boss Network winner, infusing budding businesses with cash and confidence. Lauren Victory, CBS 2 News.
Love to see him winning in that way. Well, a third round of Boss Network grants will go live next January. All in, this is a 3-year, $1.5 million program in partnership with software company Sage.
The proposed opening of a new Save-A-Lot in Inglewood is still up in the air after a heated community meeting yesterday.
You can't tell me that you shop at Save-A-Lot.
You have no respect for this community if you came in here unprepared.
Community leaders and neighbors packed a room at Kennedy King College for the emergency meeting with executives from Yellow Banana. That company took over the lease to replace a Whole Foods that shut down in November. Now, residents opposed to the Save-A-Lot came with a list of concerns, including pictures showing expired food on the shelves of other stores owned by Yellow Banana. But the company says it's investing more than $26 million into grocery stores on the south and west sides, including plans for remodeling and rebranding.
We've been working around the clock to get the financing for these other stores. It is the case that this store was brought to us because no one else wanted to move into it.
As for the Save-A-Lot, there's still no opening date on the calendar.
Well, we are celebrating firefighters all day today for International Firefighters Day.
As we should. Coming up, we're live at the Chicago Firehouse Restaurant with a look at how our beloved firefighters are being honored here at home.
Welcome back. They are firefighters, they are lifesavers, and they are definitely heroes.
And they don't wear capes, but they're heroes for sure. There is no doubt about that. Today is International Firefighters Day, and the Chicago Firehouse Restaurant in the South Loop, which was once a working firehouse, is hosting a very special celebration to honor our brave men and women.
And our own Chris Habermill is there live, talking to different groups coming together to create this special morning. And Chris, we sent you because you're a volunteer firefighter and lieutenant, so thank you for your service too.
Absolutely. You're right at home.
Indeed. Thank you very much. I'm in my element down here where everything is really big instead of being up in the chopper here. So we've had a magnificent day here, courtesy of the Firehouse Restaurant here at 14th and Michigan. Also the Ignite the Spirit guys that have been putting this all together. Over 100 firefighters served a meal this morning, and you can see we had a band and firefighters that were gathered here, companies coming in and out, cycling through off the street all morning. So it's just been a really great time. Everybody feeling right at home here and welcomed and very much appreciated. So on behalf of all the law enforcement, the firefighting community, as well as everybody who serves the public, thank you very much for thinking about us. Also, we have to talk about Lieutenant John Torek. He passed away almost a month ago. It'll be a month ago tomorrow. And one of his good friends is here sitting at the bar with another one of my good friends. So Lieutenant Rick Florzak from Truck 4, which ran out of the house with Tower Ladder 10 with Lieutenant Torek, and Bob Ahrens from Truck 9 up on Cumberland. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out and being here. First of all, Rick, thank you very much. I know it's been a really tough month for you. What does this organization and the things that have been done here for you this morning make you feel? What do you think?
It's nice. It's really an excellent feeling to have some recognition. We don't look for it, but days like this on International Firefighters Day and the Firehouse Restaurant, it's really nice to have something for us. It's a thank you is in order for them. So.
And it's really nice to come in off the street and be made to feel special.
Yeah.
It's a thankless job a lot of the times. You're dealing with people that you will not see again. They would like to express their thanks, but due to you being busy and people having other things going on in their lives, they really can't do that. So it's nice that the community would do something like this. How about being in this historic firehouse? I know you run out of the house over at Division and Laramie.
Correct.
So Division and Larrabee right there by where Cabrini Green used to be with Tower 10 and Engine 4. Now, how long have you been in the fire service?
I got my 20 years a year ago. I'm going to have about 21 years on the job, 22 years coming up. Engine 4 for last year as a lieutenant there. Great neighborhood. Really enjoyed the north side. Cubs fan myself, so
you were on Engine 78 at one time, right?
I was over at Engine 78. Got to experience the Cubs winning the World Series, everybody's dream, and nice to have that part of my history.
It's literally call it a career from that point on. You can't get any better than that.
100%.
Absolutely. And Bob, how long you been in the fire service, Bob?
24 years.
24 years now. All the time with Truck 9?
No, Engine 68, Tower 23, and then Truck 9.
Well, you can see, guys, everybody at home, the firefighters that are still here right now enjoying a free meal, good camaraderie, good fun here at the Firehouse Restaurant. Everybody made to feel as special as they are, basically giving themselves, their family giving of themselves for the public good here. So on behalf of everyone in the fire service, myself, a lieutenant with the Kirkland Fire Department, and our new training officer, Lieutenant Logan Brees, and my chief, Chad Connell. Hey, Chief, I told you I'd be here. This is Chris Habermill at the Firehouse Restaurant with Rick and Bob and all the rest of the guys that are in off the street right now, but are going to be getting back to work in just a little bit. Thank you very much for saying thank you. And we'll see you out on the street. Be safe, everybody. Ryan and Audrina, back to you.
Chris, thank you so much. Cool to see you guys having a little bite before everybody gets back to work throughout the day. We definitely appreciate you all.
And, we always know where Chris is. Either he's in Chopper 2 or he's fighting the fire.
Yeah, Chris, we know you're working. We know you are at work.
We know that. And we also know Laura Bannon.
You can run, but you can't hide.
No, you can't.
Right. He's got a lot of hats hats to wear, so always working. Chris, thank you.
And Laura, you know, no need for you to hide today. The last couple weekends, I could see that be the case, but with this forecast coming into the weekend, everybody loves you.
Yeah, I hid deep the last two weekends. Yeah,
At least you had that 1 week
I think
when
I
it
was
was
literally in Dallas one weekend, so I did actually hide. But yeah, no, you're going to see a lot of us out today this weekend too. Gorgeous weather, sunshine now as we look out live over Chicago. Cooler lakeside readings expected. We have those chilly waters and a wind blowing off it that's pushing that cool air right along the lake shore. A couple of sprinkles possible tomorrow and a warming trend here this weekend. We're already feeling the warmth now, and those temps will continue climbing through the coming days. Live look outside where we've got all that sunshine. Really been a pretty morning, although it was a little chilly. Temperatures made it down into the 40s, but we've got a sun-drenched sky out there, dry weather that's going to hold for several days. Temp check in the last 24 hours. We are about 10-15 degrees warmer across the area, and that puts us in the middle to upper 50s. We're already seeing some 60s pop up there. Out toward Ottawa, we had 62, 58 in Morris, 55 Midway, and 53 Valparaiso. LaPorte coming in at 54. Midway, mid-50s, 57 in Lyle. Now, as we scan across the country, we've got really quiet skies and a good deal of sunshine all across Illinois. Points farther west, we do find some more clouds moving into parts of Missouri and also farther north, and then that low is off toward the east. Long gone, no longer our problem. Sunny skies, 70 degrees by 5 today. Beautiful day, beautiful afternoon. And then through tonight, we are going to be seeing some clouds move through, but mostly a clear night with temps down to the 40s and 50s. It's actually going to be a touch milder from where we were earlier this morning and warmer by the afternoon. Friday, mid-70s, upper 70s, and that sprinkle chance is going to be well off toward the east. But don't be surprised if you run into a random raindrop from Friday into Saturday, but most of the area is going to be completely dry going into your weekend and into Sunday. There is that minor rain chance going from Saturday into Sunday morning. Temperature check, your highs today, 60s near the lake, 70s elsewhere. Joliet, 74, 72 DeKalb, 66 in the Loop. If you head up toward Evanston today, mid-60s, 66 and 66 Hyde Park. Tonight, lows in the 50s, 53 degrees, but 40s elsewhere. 7-day forecast going for a high of 77 tomorrow. Nice day, 74 on Saturday, Sunday, 75 degrees. Chance for showers and thunderstorms in the morning. The afternoon, untouched. Gorgeous day and nice weather going into next week as highs remain in the mid-70s. Looks like I can stay out of hiding for the next 7 days, Ryan.
Yeah, please tell us all the good news, Laura.
Yeah,
thank you so much. All right, switching gears right now. We want to get to some breaking news. A fire blazing right now on the south side. So this video we just got here, it was shared on the Citizen app. The location here is 67th and South Shore Drive. I was just taking a look at the map of that area. Looks like it's right along Lakeshore Drive there. You can see the water from that area. Looks like this is about halfway up the building. We see that heavy smoke and those flames shooting out. We just talked to Chris Habermill about how much firefighters work for us to keep us safe. They will be battling this fire today. We have crews headed to the scene. We'll get you a better look and we'll work to find out more information. Of course, our thoughts are with them. We hope no one is injured in this fire, but that looks pretty bad.
There's some significant flames coming from that high rise. We just had the high rise on the Gold Coast not too long ago. Of course, John Torek, we mentioned him in that this being International Firefighters Day, losing his life along with the other firefighter on the south side, Jermaine Pelt. So we hope, first and foremost, everyone's okay as they battle this blaze.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that for sure. Stick with us here on CBS News Chicago. Coming up, a look at the stories we're following today, including a new plan to temporarily house migrants in our city. Welcome back. Right now, we want to get back to that breaking news, a fire blazing right now on the south side. Take a look at this video here shared on the Citizen app. Really a different angle than we were getting before. It looks like somebody shooting this video from another building at a safe distance. Very little details right now. We know it's at 67th Street and South Shore Drive. That's right along the lakefront, just on the south end of Jackson Park. We do not have very many details, but we see that heavy smoke coming from about midway up that building. We see the flames there. We have crews on the way. Of course, we'll bring you live coverage as soon as we know more. And now here's a look at other stories we're keeping an eye on right now.
Investigators are trying to identify the body of a man found yesterday in the Fox River. A boater discovered that body. It comes as the police department is investigating the disappearance of a 28-year-old man, Gustavo Guzman Perez. He was last seen April 22nd in the McHenry Country Club subdivision.
Families and businesses in Avondale say they were blindsided by the city's decision to close a neighborhood park and use it as a temporary respite site for migrants. They will eventually be placed into a temporary shelter, but neighbors say after-school programs were abruptly moved to other parks on Tuesday. Also, they've been told the summer program there at the park has been canceled.
There's another public forum happening today in the search for Chicago's next police superintendent. It's at Roosevelt High School from 6 to 8 tonight. The board says it's committed to keeping the community at the forefront of the superintendent search. The last day to apply for that top cop job is this Sunday, May 7th.
Well, May is looking up for us. 72 today, 77 tomorrow. That's a really nice day for a Friday, especially. Weekend weather looks even better. Mid-70s Saturday, Sunday. There's a chance for some showers and thunderstorms early on Sunday. Afternoon weather, fantastic. Get outside, patios, walking the dog. I mean, everything. All the things you couldn't do the past 2 weekends, you can do this weekend.
And it's going to be Cinco de Mayo, so I think it'll be a lot of people with some tacos and tequila.
All the things.
All the patios are going to be full. Yep.
I'll definitely be outside. Find me there. All
Margarita
weekend.
time.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Your local news continues right here on our streaming network, CBS News Chicago.
Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for spending part of it with us.
When I think about growing up in Evanston, a lot of it is family. It's a real foundational feeling that's never left me. I love the commitment to surviving winter. I love the drive to always be better. I love the passion for our sports teams, taking advantage of those last warm days of summer. There's endless opportunity here to learn about each other. I feel that in this city. And I do still pinch myself when I'm driving in off Kennedy and see the skyline, unless there's terrible traffic.
On our places, bright shiny faces.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team. Nate has one of the quickest minds I've ever seen.
Tony has a way of making people feel comfortable.
Gail has this unbelievable knack to ask the question that you're asking at home.
I've been told I could talk to a tree, and that's pretty much true.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with my two good friends, and we talk about the world.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7.
Every time the alarm goes off at 2 a.m., it hurts. But when I get here and I'm doing what I've been wanting to do since I was a little girl, that's what gets me going. People trust us. I always want people to know whether I'm telling a story on the anchor desk or whether I'm out in the community. I care that what you're saying matters to me, and I want to tell your story, the stories that make Chicago what we are. I truly believe it's a blessing to be here.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions. We look at a story and we say, how do we make it relevant to people's lives? So this is what we eat to live longer. Finding solutions, giving people context and depth, how much money we can spend on groceries, finding solutions to healthcare problems. Based on all the doctors that you've spoken with, what should parents know? Finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for your family.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell on CBS.
I love this city. It has a lot to do with the people. Take a picture of this. Look at the camera. The people here work hard, and people in Chicago also lead with their hearts.
I have Stacy.
And I have Will.
There's a humbleness, I think.
When things aren't going well, I think they also reach out and they help their neighbors. Story after story, I've seen people come together to help the people around them. And I think that's what makes a city this size still so special, because it is a community.
Breaking news update. 4 people are recovering in the hospital after a mass shooting on Chicago's South Side. First responders got caught in the middle of the chaos.
So you're saying there's a shooting outside of this location, is that correct?
Multiple shots, yes, and we are in an ambulance. 10-1 now, please. 10-14.
10-1, 10-1, we'll get you 10-1. I do have multiple units out there. We're going to make sure to get you.
That was a radio call from EMTs who were already on the scene for an unrelated call when the shooting started. This happened at the Parkway Gardens complex near 63rd and King Drive Wednesday night. People inside the complex surrounding the ambulance trying to get help for the victims. Once police arrived, they put the complex on lockdown. The victims range in age between 16 and 42 years old. Teenagers listed in critical condition. Others are in good condition. Investigators are working to identify the body of a man found in the Fox River. CBS 2's Mugo Odigwe from McHenry County with how this could be connected to a missing persons case. Mugo.
We know police are still investigating a missing persons case from late April, but they haven't said if the discovery in the Fox River from just yesterday afternoon is connected to it. Now, back in April, we told you about 28-year-old Gustavo Guzman Perez. He was last seen around 2 in the morning on Saturday, April 22nd in the McHenry Country Club subdivision near West Virginia Avenue. McHenry County Police say they and the sheriff's office, along with volunteers, helped search more than 650 acres for him. And then just yesterday afternoon around 3:15, a boater noticed a man's body in the Fox River and called police. But again, authorities are still trying to identify that body, and they have not connected it to the missing persons case, but we'll update you as soon as we have new information on either of those cases. In McHenry County, Mugo Odigwe, CBS 2 News.
For today, we climb to the low 70s with a good deal of sunshine around mixed with some clouds today. A high of 72 degrees, 72 at O'Hare, and a little bit cooler, 65 degrees or so right up against the lakefront. 53 degrees tonight, and then tomorrow we have 74 for a high, partly sunny skies, maybe a sprinkle or two later in the day, but that's about it. Saturday's beautiful and 70, 75 on Sunday. And we stay in the 70s for Monday and Tuesday. We do have a storm chance on Sunday and again on Monday. Brad?
Ed, thank you. Hello, I'm Brad Edwards. We appreciate you streaming with us here at CBS News Chicago. Want to get out to some breaking news out of the South Shore neighborhood. Let's take a look at that video if we can. That is video where a fire broke out at a high-rise there. That high-rise at 6730 South Shore Drive. Again, 6730 South Shore Drive. That there where you can see the inferno really blazing is the 10th floor. Initially, responding Chicago Fire Department personnel were worried about it spreading to the 11th floor. Latest word is that they've contained it to the 10th floor. Unsure how many units. We know now that CFD firefighters are going unit to unit, to make sure everyone is okay. No word now. We don't know whether there have been or have not been. No indication either way as to injuries. Started out as a 2-alarm fire. For those of you that know the area, this is right where Lakeshore Drive turns into South Shore Drive. It's right across from Jackson Park. Latest word from CFD is that the fire is indeed under control. Under control so that it indeed did not spread to the 11th from the 10th in this 17-story high-rise. That's the latest breaking news we have from you here at CBS News Chicago. For the latest, join my friends Jim Williams and Marie Saavedra at 11 o'clock. They'll have the latest updates on this. We have numerous crews dispatched to get that information to you. That's the latest from the newsroom here. I'm Brad Edwards, CBS News Chicago. Calls for accountability Wednesday from the friends and family of a man shot and killed by Chicago police. Protest outside police headquarters spilled out into the streets as they chanted the name Reginald Clay Jr. It comes as the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, COPA, released body cam footage of last month's shooting. The footage shows police getting out of their patrol car during what they called a de-escalation mission on April 15th. As they approached a group, Reginald Clay Jr. took off, running down a narrow gangway, then turned, reaching into his waistband, revealing a gun. We stopped the video before one officer fired a single shot, hitting Clay in the chest.
And when the gun appears, and the man is still advancing, that makes the shooting appear reasonable.
The family says Clay was trying to surrender. The officers involved are paid on leave during the investigation. When Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson takes office later this month, Chicago police will have a new leader. 34-year CPD veteran Fred Waller will take over as interim police superintendent, but it's not expected to be a permanent move. Johnson plans for Waller to lead the department through the next few weeks or months. Families and businesses in Avondale say they were blindsided by the city's decision to close a local spot to be used as a temporary respite site for migrants. CBS 2's Jackie.
they're done. Okay, on the north side then of the building, I think that would be. We'll try. There's not a lot of wind up here, so we'll do our best. I guess when we get on the south side of the orbit, we break up with them, so when they all right, well, we're orbiting now, so we're coming around to about the right side of the building, east side. Oh, okay. Mike thinks it's because he's banking the helicopter when he's turning, so he's going to try to flatten it out so the signal holds together. Yeah, I think just when we were turning, the belly of the helicopter was coming up a little bit in the turn. So that was probably interfering. All right, well, I think that's what was going on then. Thank you. We'll keep it level. Got a drone flying. Level with the 10th floor of the building on the north side. Yeah. Yes. I always think in my head, like down here, it's all high rises, but I guess not. There's only a couple of them. Yeah, that sounds right to me. Yeah. Sure, he'd be all too happy to tell me. having a good time at that banquet today. You don't have much wind, right? Southwest, okay. No, nothing, just when the hit comes up, if we can try to be on the north side. Yeah. Yeah, no reason to do it anytime soon. I'm just trying to plan ahead. Heard from Craig today. I gave him a heads up. I'm not sure how much of an office there's going to be on Monday. He's filling in for Cam. On 4 flight, every time we come around to like the northwest side of the orbit, it gives me a warning that there's an upcoming TFR in 2 hours. 12:10. Yeah, it's outside of it, but just for flying back. Shouldn't. All right, right in here. Okay. Yeah, for the hit, we're gonna kind of be setting up somewhere north of it, so we should avoid that spot. Paul was just telling me the spot kind of about 10 o'clock in the orbit was where they were taking hits on us on the signal, so when we set up to hover, we'll be north of there. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's like the exact same spot you told me last time. So, yeah, we're just circling now because we still got like 30 minutes before they're gonna take us. So, trying to conserve fuel. Yep, we're all good. Thank you. Mike, when I was holding the starter button down for do set, there was one of the gauges, the one with like the little airplane insignia, started spinning around. Which one is that? What does that tell you? The one with the numbers on it. Okay. So sort of like a compass.
and kind of lapping up to the 11th floor. So we did have damage to the exterior of the 11th floor, but no fire intrusion inside that unit. Thankfully, 10th floor, we were able to direct streamlines from the ground up to the 10th floor to extinguish the main body of fire from the outside, which gave us time to get up to the 10th floor, lead out hand lines, and get water on the fire. This is a non-sprinkler building. There were no injuries. Top to bottom searches are completed, and no injuries. No, it's under investigation at this time. Our Office of Fire Investigation is on the scene, and they'll be conducting their investigation.
Do you know how long it took the fire out?
It was, let me see, the 9:30. First incident commander reported heavy fire lapping. He requested a 211 alarm at about 9:40. So 10 minutes after we arrived, he escalated it a second time for 211, thinking, just anticipating if we have 2 floors, we're going to need the additional manpower. So after the 211, just I don't have the time in front of me. It seems like forever sometimes, but it was approximately about 10 minutes after we got water from the outside, and probably another 15 to 20 minutes after that, that the fire was extinguished.
So about a half hour after.
About a half an hour.
So there was a deadly fire back here in Jimmy as well. They were supposed to be doing some maintenance on the fire systems here. Do you have any idea if that was done?
All I can tell you is that we didn't have any issues with their systems. The fire alarm panel seemed to be in good working order. We were able to give announcements. The PA system worked. The fire pump seemed to be running and supplying enough pressure to supply the amount of water and pressure that we needed on the 10th floor. No. No. Well, I can't speak for self-evacuations because some people decide to leave. Our searches were negative. We didn't have to bring anybody down that seemed to be in any kind of smoke inhalation, no respiratory distress. So we had no emergency evacuations.
And I'm sorry if you answered this earlier, but were the alarms going off? Smoke detectors?
Well, I tell you this, we got a response for a call. So somebody called. Well, I take that back. I think the initial response might have been an alarm activation. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember how we got the initial call, but the initial call did come in at 9:30. Okay.
Were there smoke detectors going off, like in the hallways and stuff?
I didn't go up on the upper floors. I can't confirm that. Our Office of Fire Investigation will confirm what smoke detectors were going off and what was working at the time on the floor.
Was there only damage to that one unit, like substantial damage?
I can't answer. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. No, I can't confirm what room that is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This truck will allow. Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? Our orders, our procedures are always constantly under review, especially after the fatality that we had recently. We're always revisiting, seeing what we can do better. Even with this one, we're going to critique, look at our successes, some things we could have done better, and always under review. Yes.
So all of the water that was utilized was from the ground, is that right? You guys brought it up, is that right?
No, so what we used was a deck gun, which is a master stream located on one of our engine apparatus. the stream was able to reach the fire floor. But at the same time, our guys on the inside are going up to the 10th floor, leading out holes, connecting to the standpipe, and fighting the fire from the inside as well. But we were able to at least buy them some time by getting water on the fire from the outside. We couldn't fully extinguish it from the outside, but we were able to get water from it from the outside.
And is that standard procedure?
If we can reach it.
Again, forgive me, I came a little late. Was there someone inside that unit when the fire started?
I can't answer that. I
don't know.
No.
You weren't in there when we went in there to search? Yeah. Okay.
If folks are watching this at home saying, it seems like there's been a lot of high-rise fires lately, would you agree with them?
No.
Anecdotally, does it seem like we've been covering more of these?
You know what? We had that line of duty death, and that, yes, I mean, that hit home. That was hard, and so no. Whenever I hear a high-rise fire come in, any fire. Yeah.
Does it seem like we've been covering a lot more high-rises lately? Or is it just?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is the unit a total loss?
I can't answer that. Yeah. Ooh. You know what? Give me a second here. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. We had approximately 150 personnel on scene. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
I'll fill you guys in on the rest as soon as I find out.
Thank you so much.
Traffic, I think 1 o'clock. Gotcha. Do they know any good jokes? It's an EMS guy, right? 365. Extracurricular voice activity describes about all of what we do. Hey Vince, do you know where we're positioned in the 11 and whether or not this is picture only or if I have to talk about this? Okay, right off the top at 11 for a picture only. Thanks for checking on that. Yeah, we'll take a look. Don't see too many people on the beaches. When we come around, I'll look at the north side beaches. South Shore Beach is a ghost town. South Shore Beach. So as soon as we do our hit here, we're clear from the fire. And Vince wants a couple weather shots of the beaches on our way back. No, they want the beaches. People on beaches. This looks like maybe a few people at 67th Street Beach. Yeah, he said right off the top at 11. another 2 or 3 years, they could be looking to tear the place down by then, you know. Yeah. Live picture in 2 minutes. We will be there. How's that? All right, thanks. One minute away from the live picture. Thirty seconds. said Chris Hoppermill was part of team coverage, so maybe they got him. Oh, jeez. They are talking to Chris. Oh, no, he's on scene down there. All right, we are done. Hey, Paul, we are done with the fire. We're going to get some weather shots of the beaches for Vince. They're cleaning up the beach. The lakeshore, I'm shooting the beaches as we go along.